Sveiki!
This week we're in Riga, the largest city in the Baltic countries, and where the inventor of modern jeans left for the New World.
We'll show you what to do and where to go in the center and some other Latvian towns close by.
The Baltic countries are relatively new countries in the grand scheme of things, and Latvia is just over 100 years old. Although it's had its independence since 1918, for the majority of this time it has actually been occupied. When the Second World War hit Europe, Latvia was annexed by the Soviet Union and occupied by Germany also. The Soviet Union continued to prolong their stay in Latvia until finally recognising them as independent again in 1991. Walking through the old town of Riga, you can still find reminiscence of the past in many of the buildings. One in particular hosts a rather dark historical secret.
This building is the Corner House, a former KGB headquarters. It was home to torture and death under the dreaded KGB secret police, with most people ending up being executed in the basement's killing area. Often, the prisoners that were held here had to endure continuous torture for 8 to 9 days, and this created the ultimate fear.
Prisoners that were kept in these cells were made to endure unbearable temperatures under already hard conditions. The cells were kept at around 30 degrees Celsius, no matter what season it was. They were meant to hold 6 people, but often were overcrowded and held up to 30 people. And without water, this was enough to drive most people mad.
Hallways were also covered with thick red carpet to drown the sound of footsteps and to allow the blood to blend in.
The people that were arrested were said to be enemies of the state, but in reality they were just unfortunate enough to have someone out against them. Family members, neighbours and friends all started reporting one another, and a world of paranoia kicked in. The architect of the Corner House even had to suffer in his own design.
Since 1991, the Corner House hasn't changed, and due to the horrors that occurred there, it was actually closed off until 2012. After reopening, it is now possible to visit parts of the building that have been turned into a museum. Admission to the museum is free, however you can also get a guided tour for €5. The museum is open all week but closes early at 4 PM on the weekends. From the Freedom Monument in the centre, follow the road that leads out of the city, past the Radisson Blu Hotel and continue on the same road for about 10 minutes. The building will be on the corner of the 4th Street on the left.
During Soviet occupation, one of the main places for locals to buy their food was the Riga Central Market. This market was first opened in 1930 and at the time was considered the most technologically advanced market in all of Europe. One form of the market was in existence since the 16th century, but then it was moved into an old Zeppelin hangar after the First World War due to it being more hygienic. In total, there are 5 different sections to the market, and you can find lots of authentic Latvian tastes here. From the strong sour kefir in the milk pavilion, to the smoked chicken in the meat pavilion, and the fresh fruit and vegetables, there is something for everyone. That's probably the reason that almost 80 to 100,000 people come here to shop every day. There are around 3,000 stalls in the market, and it can possibly be one of the most colorful places in the city to visit. In the corridor between the fish and vegetable section, you'll find a little corner of Uzbekistan. Here, you will find some of the finest bakery products that are on offer. If you wake up right in the center of Riga, another great place to get some breakfast is Regenis. This small bakery/coffee shop is the perfect place to try traditional pastries, cakes, breads, and more. These are served with the usual hot chocolate or a variety of coffee types. You might end up having to wait in line for 5 to 10 minutes if it's a busy part of the day, but at least if it's summer, that they have an outside sitting area where you will be able to bask in the sun while you wait. If not though, we suggest picking up some regional cake and having a stroll around the city.
After breakfast, it might be an idea to soak up the midday sun. And since Riga is so close by to the sea, there's a little place nearby that's perfect for doing exactly this.
Jurmala is a beach resort that is often called the Northern Riviera, and in summer, the beach here is packed with people playing sports, sunbathing, or simply enjoying the warm sand under their feet as they walk. They also have more extreme sports available, like water skiing or wakeboarding.
However, if you're going to do one of these things, or swim at the beach, it will not be an easy task. The water here is so shallow that to get to an area deep enough to swim, you have to walk around half a kilometer into the sea. I guess I'll just stick to paddling for now.
The main street in Jurmala is the kilometer-long Joma Street. It takes its name from the Latvian word Joma. Joma means valleys that have been formed due to the wind blowing large amounts of sand to a particular place and in the process creating dunes and valleys between them.
These days the sandy expanse has now been turned into a seaside resort, and the street is littered with bars, restaurants and other usual amusement areas you can find here. The street actually runs parallel to the beach, so it's really easy to get to.
The city is surrounded by forest, with a third of it covered by thick trees. If in season, you can even find blueberries growing here. The berries appear on bushes scattered around these forests and can be eaten straight from them. The easiest option to get to Jurmala from Riga is by train. The trains from Riga Central Station take around 30 minutes and generally cost between €1.40 and €1.90. Just be aware that the station name to get off at is actually called Majori. Make sure you don't miss it, as the train will carry on after stopping here.
If you want to reawaken your muscles after lying on the beach all day, another way to get back to Riga is by bike.
The official cycle route, Eurovelo 10, is huge. It loops around the Baltic countries, Scandinavian countries and Poland. It runs along the Latvian coast, and a 20-kilometre stretch of it will take you from Jurmala to Riga. The cycle path goes beside the railway lines and is signposted all the way.
Sixt Rent a Bicycle is a self-service system that is for both travellers and locals, and has bikes for rent in both places. You can find one of the stations at the far end of Joma Street in the direction of the beach. The price for the first 30 minutes of bike usage is free, but you can keep them for longer if you're willing to pay the 99 cents per 30 minutes charge.
Before using these bikes, you must first sign up. To do this, go to sixtbicycle.lv or call +371 67676780. When you want to use the bike, call this number again and give them the bike number. They'll then provide you with a combination code in order to remove the padlock. Again, when you finish, call the number and provide them with the bike station number. You'll have to pay a €10 deposit before completing registration, but don't worry, as this money will be returned to you when you close your account if you haven't used it. With over 250 bikes and 28 stations around Riga, it's a perfect way for also getting around the city centre. But first, you'll need to reboost your energy if you've just cycled all that way.
A great place to try something more unusual is Bubble Waffle. This place is known for doing unusually cone-shaped waffles that have bubbles popping out of the sides. The menu has both savoury and sweet options, so it can be a place for either a quick snack or a full meal. Some more bizarre flavours are the shrimp and avocado, tangerine special, and ham and baked pepper.
Can I go for one of the vanilla bubble waffles with M&M fillings?
Okay.
Vanilla ice cream and orange, and then caramel on top.
Alright.
Yep. If you can't find something on the menu that you fancy, why not create your own? The waffles here are made from scratch, so we dare you to try and come up with the craziest waffle that anyone's ever had.
It's cheap in the centre and has long opening hours between 10 AM and 9:30 PM, so there's really no excuses not to go here.
We've shown you the Sigulda Bikes, and now it's time to show you another great way for getting around.
Car Guru is a car sharing app that amazingly covers all costs when you hire one of the cars. You won't have to pay for petrol, you can park almost anywhere, and they even have the insurance included in the price.
It's super simple to use, and registration only takes 10 minutes. Download the app, send a picture of your driver's license and reply to the email they sent you. Then you will be ready to take to the roads. Just bear in mind that unfortunately you have to have had a license for 2 years to use them.
Once you find a car on the map that is displayed in the app, you'll have 20 minutes to get to it. When you do, simply tap the Start a Trip button to unlock the car. The great thing is that the keys are already in the car. And at the end of your trip, you just do it in reverse by clicking the End the Trip button.
I told you it was easy.
The cars cost 21 cents per minute, and when using these cars, you'll only pay for the time that you take. Unless you're going a super long distance. You get 100 free kilometers to use on each reservation. After that, you'll be charged an extra 15 cents per kilometer. Also, if you're not using the engine, it will only actually cost 3 cents per minute.
These cars can come in handy, especially if you're looking to escape the city center for a while. Around 50 kilometers outside of Riga is the stunning scenery of the town Sigulda.
Sigulda is surrounded by spectacular nature areas, is rich with medieval history, and is also the perfect place for those seeking adventure. One of the main historical attractions here is Sigulda Castle. The original castle was built at the peak of the medieval age around 1207 and was used as a strategic military stronghold to monitor the Gorja River and fend off invaders from neighbouring castles.
After many battles leading to the destruction of it on different occasions, it was finally decided to leave the castle as the ruins that you see today. You can actually see as you walk around the grounds that the castle was made up from different time periods.
It's still a great spectacle nonetheless, and can be quite breathtaking to see the stretches of forest and valleys that surround the region as you climb either the northern or southern towers. They host quite large-scale events within the grounds also, including a jazz festival and opera festival. These events can be found detailed on the tourism.sigulda.lv website.
Sigulda is surrounded by the beautiful Gauja National Park, which covers almost 90,000 hectares of land. You'll find it's the perfect place to soak up the beauties of Mother Nature and take some time to relax. The Turaida Museum Reserve has a vast network of trails to walk that are surrounded by the park. These trails have interesting sculptures set out along the way, and apple trees allow you to pick fresh apples when the season is ripe. You'll also find rustic buildings and churches here. In one of these buildings, you can even see a blacksmith at work, forging souvenirs or traditional crafts of metal. At the end of these trails is Turaida Castle. This castle was rival to Sigulda Castle in the medieval ages, and battles between the two lords ruling them frequently occurred. It was occupied up until 1776, until a fire damaged it and it was left to turn into ruins.
In the grounds of the castle, you can get a traditional archery lesson and feel like a true warrior of the past.
Just remember afterwards, you are still in the 21st century, so don't go to the high ground with a bow and start looking for invaders. They'll just be tourists. Buses from Sigulda Terminal to Jurmula go up to the park and cost 50 cents per journey.
Sigulda has a cable car line that runs from the town to Jurmula over the Gorja River. It provides spectacular views at a height of 43 metres over the Gorja National Park in both Sigulda and Turaida castles. The overall distance of the ride is 1.1 km. It costs €12 for a return journey, but may be worth it for the scenes you'll witness below. It's open 10 AM until 6:30 PM in summer and 5 PM in winter, and is a short walk from Sigulda Castle.
From the cable car, you might notice a rather unusual attraction that Sigulda plays host to. Here, you'll find an outdoor bobsleigh track that anyone can use. The track is 1.2 kilometres long and features 15 bends. It's a perfect adrenaline ride with a maximum speed of 125 kilometres per hour.
They often have competitions on here, but when the track is not being used for one, it costs a mere €10 to experience this thrill. And if it's too hot for the ice to have setting on the track, they add wheels to the bobsleigh. What a great way to cool down in the hot summer heat by getting the wind to beat you with cool air.
There is also another option available, and those that are very brave can hurtle down the track on the frog.
Here, two people lie side by side on their stomachs and experience their face inches from the ice. These rides are a little more pricey though, at €20. The address for the bobsleigh track is Šveicis iela 13, and rides can be organised from 10 AM until 5 PM, but you can always go and see the track on its own until 8 PM. The easiest way to get to Sigulda is by taking a train from Riga station. It costs €1.90 each way and takes just over an hour.
You can get a feel of traditional Latvia in the centre of Riga. Rozengrals is a restaurant that makes you feel like you're dining in the medieval period. It is 5 grand halls in total that can accommodate 150 people to enjoy the traditional recipes that are served on stone plates and washed down with goblets of wine.
The place is lit with candles and decorated with flags, old shields and tapestries to give the authentic feel. Even the waiters here wear traditional outfits. It used to host the most ancient wine vault in Riga and has parts of the first defensive wall that was actually built in 1201. Just be careful of the prices before you decide to sit down. The main courses start at around €30, so it might be an idea to come and just have a look in order to get a feel of what dining in those times were like.
Another dining experience, which is a cheaper alternative, is Pelmeni XL. This is a paperweight dumpling eatery.
There are a few varieties of dumplings with meats, cheeses, or vegetables inside. The great thing is that it's rarely shut, opening early in the morning and staying open until 4 AM. Quite often, it ends up becoming a sanctuary at the end of a drunken night.
Super simple. Just grab a bowl, load it up with however much dumplings you prefer. And pay for the chosen master.
Black Basalm is a famous drink in Riga and is a tart black liqueur that is made up with a variety of different herbs. It has similarities to cough medicine, which is quite understandable considering it was invented by a pharmacist. In the past, it was a very secret recipe and only the head liqueur master and his 2 apprentices knew how to make it. But nowadays, it's very popular in Riga and you can find it in almost every bar.
The Riga Black Magic Bar is very likely one such place where the laboratory of this drink was in the basement of a pharmacy. This shop offers all things Black Basalm and serves chocolate, coffee and cakes with the drink infused in them. You can also get a cream or blackcurrant version here.
A bar that we'd recommend to go to is Labietis, and although it's hard to find and not exactly in the centre, it'll be well worth it. The place makes its own beer on the premises and you can catch a glimpse of the brewery from inside the bar.
They have 12 different beers on tap here and extras in bottles that are either upcoming or too popular. The interesting thing is that all of the beers have their own story to them. You can learn about these on the label of each bottle or by asking one of the bartenders for a more in-depth and creative version. Although young and trendy, it has the atmosphere of a typical Latvian pub and is open late every night.
We hope you enjoy your stay in Riga. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel below, a little bit quicker, for all the tips and tricks of many more hidden cities that we will explore.